Hello there guys, welcome to one of my videos. On this video tonight there is a few things to negotiate about. So, it's now or never for Ole Gunnar Solsjaker at Manchester United, and Solskjaer has said that Manchester United have to go with a positive mindset for tomorrow's game against Leicester City. Now, tomorrow's game against Leicester City is the final game of the Premier League season, and it is a top four decider. So if we draw with Leicester or we beat Leicester, we will get qualification for the Champions League. And we know how important Champions League qualification is, obviously, for the players, attracting players, and the financial structure. Like I updated you on my recent video, Manchester United are facing a 70 million black hole if Solskjaer fails to get Champions League football for next season, because Champions League qualification is worth around £80 million and the Europa League is only worth around £30 million. And I think we've already lost 20 million in gate revenue. And, that's already, being confirmed. So we do need Champions League football. But we've got to go there on the front foot against Leicester. We can't play for the draw, because if we go and play for the draw, that's when we will get punished. Our Europa League games are in August. Like I said, the Europa League is a priority for us, because that's the only chance we've got of getting any silverware on the board this season under Solskjaer. And if we win the Europa League anyway, we will get automatic qualification for the Champions League. And, it will be the first trophy we'd have won under Solskjaer. But I think we are emerged as one of the favourites to win the Europa League. But it's not going to be an easy game against Leicester. Like I've said before, Leicester have been in a bad vein of form recently, because they recently lost 3-0 against Tottenham. But I think overall, Leicester have enjoyed an exceptional season. I think Brendan Rodgers has done a very good job with Leicester. I think Brendan Rodgers has now been at Leicester over the year. Earlier on in the season, Brendan Rodgers extended his contract with Leicester until 2025. So I think he signed, was it a 5 or a 5.5 year deal? I think more or less he's done good at all the clubs he's been at. I think he did well at Celtic. He had a few good years with them. He also had one good season with Liverpool. He did quite well at Swansea. He managed the likes of Reading and Watford when he was younger. And he also managed Chelsea's youth, did Brendan Rodgers. And let's put into the equation, Leicester have lost quite a few of their imperative players in recent years. They lost Harry Maguire to us last summer. They lost Raheem Mahrez to Man City in the summer of 2018. They lost Danny Drinkwater and N'Golo Kante. They've also lost a few of their other players in recent years. But they've recruited some good players in under Brendan Rodgers. They've recruited players like Dennis Pryor in from Sampdoria. They got Yuri Tillemans in from Monaco. Leicester had him on loan, but Leicester got him permanently for around £40 million. I think he is Leicester's most expensive signing. They got James Justin in, and they also got Perez in from Newcastle and that. And Leicester know themselves how important Champions League qualification is for them. And, Brendan Rodgers will want to get one over Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, because I think, Solskjaer's only beaten, Brendan Rodgers twice as a manager, because we're beating Leicester earlier on in the season 1-0, and we're beating them at the King Power Stadium last season by 1-0. And the good news is, from our perspective, Leicester have got quite a few injuries. Like I said, they've got a few of their imperative players out. Ben Chilwell's out, who's a very, very good left-back. They've also got Christian Fuchs out. They've got Armati out. They've got James Maddison out. Don't forget, we was in for James Maddison earlier on in the season. They've got Ricardo Pereira out. And they've also got Marco Brighton out. And they've got Cagle Suki, or whatever you pronounce his name, suspended. So that's very, very good news from our perspective. Solskjaer did say a few interesting stuff during his press conference building up to the game against Leicester. He says that the team have shown that they are going places and the players are progressing. And he says, the fitness levels have improved. He gave around 5 reasons behind our unbeaten run. because we are unbeaten in our last 13 Premier League games. Last time we lost in the league was to Burnley 2-0 back in January. But the reasons he gave was the signing of Bruno Fernandes, because definitely Bruno Fernandes has made the difference in the team since he came in. Also, too, the belief's been there, the confidence been there, changes atmosphere. So these are the reasons that Solskjaer had given. Obviously, it was very beneficial when Pogba came back and when Marcus Rashford came back, because Paul Pogba was out earlier on in the season with an ankle injury, and Marcus Rashford was out earlier on in the season with a back injury and all of that. And I think the good news is as well, Bay and Luke Shaw could be playing tomorrow against Leicester. Bay has been out with a head injury, and Luke Shaw has been out with an ankle injury. Luke Shaw has missed our last 3 games with this ankle injury. I think in the last 2, Brandon Williams has played ahead of him. Yeah. I think our only injuries now is Alex Tuanzebe and Phil Jones. I think they're going to be out until August. That's what I did here anyway. I've already given you my starting 11 prediction for the game against Leicester. Solskjaer's going to make some changes from the 1-1 draw with West Ham. But this is a game we must win to get Champions League, and plus we are winless in our last 2 games. And yeah, so I'm really, really looking forward to it. I really, really am. Solskjaer has got big decisions to make at Manchester United. He's got decisions to make in the summer transfer window, of what players he's going to recommend in, and of course what players he's going to get rid of. Like I updated you recently, he said that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is targeting 5 players to overhaul the Manchester United squad. Because Solskjaer did actually say at the start of his managerial tenure that he wants to recommend around 9 players in. So far, Solskjaer's brought 5 players to the football club. He's made 4 permanent signings, and of course he got Ighalo on loan. But I think the players that he's brought in so far, to be fair, have done really, really well. Also, too, Solskjaer's got rid of a lot of the deadwood since he got recommended in to the football club. But there has been a lot of players on our agenda, and I think Solskjaer is aware that, there's areas where Manchester United have improved. Obviously, we got the right back in for Wan-Bissaka. I think he can be our right back for the next decade. We've got that centre half in with Harry Maguire and that. But there's still areas in the squad where Man United are lacking. I think, we need a striker, because I think we need to be more clinical in front of goal. Even though Rashford, Martial and Mason Greenwood have been in scintillating form, I think we do need a right winger. We do need a centre defensive midfielder, because I think the only defensive midfielder that Manchester United have mainly got is Matic. And I think we're in search for another centre-half, despite the fact that we've got 7 centre-halves in the team. We know that the summer transfer window is opening in just over a day's time, because it is opening on the 27th of July. I think if we do get qualification for the Champions League, a decision will be made on our transfer budget, because Solskjaer did say the other week he's unsure how much he's going to get to spend because of the financial impact of the coronavirus pandemic. He's spent just over £200 million at the club so far. Solskjaer is probably intending on spending over £100 million in the summer transfer window. But the summer transfer window will be Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's 4th transfer window as Manchester United manager. One thing Solskjaer did confirm is that he will not tolerate any rotten apples in the squad. And he said this to our players, I think towards the start of the resumption of the season. But there has been a lot of players on our agenda. And earlier on in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's managerial career, he said he wanted to recruit young British talents to Manchester United. And 3 of the 5 players he's brought in so far are British. But there's been a lot of young players on our agenda. There's obviously 2 young players that have turned down moves to Man United so far, and that's Erling Haaland. It's a shame that we didn't get him in January, because he would have been an Ole Gunnar Solskjaer type signing. And also, too, we missed out on Jude Bellingham. He went to Borussia Dortmund and that. But, we'll see, who we can get in the summer transfer window. Like I said, the big test for Solskjaer is next season, because next season he's going to have bigger expectations to exceed. Next season we'll be expected to challenge for the Premier League title. But we've got to spend money to compete with the likes of Manchester City and Liverpool. Like I said, regarding Chelsea, they've done very, very good business so far. Chelsea have, I think, recruited 3 players in, under Frank Lampard. They got Werner from RB Leipzig for 48 million. They got Hakim Ziyech in February for around 37 or 38 million. And I think they have now got Kai Havertz on the board for £80 million. So that's around 160 million on 3 players. So Chelsea could be up there with a shout for next season. But I'm hopeful that we can get a title under Solskjaer. If we can, that will be our 21st title. But this has been the 7th season now that Man United have failed to mount any kind of title challenge up. And we haven't won the Premier League since 2013. So the last time we won it was in Alex Ferguson's last season. But even if, we lose to Leicester and we don't get qualification for the Champions League, I still think Solskjaer will be Manchester United manager next season. Because it is a transition period, and it has been a transition period for a while and that. And managers, do deserve time. We have had an upturn in form. Like I said, we went on a 19-game unbeaten run until Chelsea, beat us in the FA Cup semi-final. I was very gutted about that game because the FA Cup was a priority for us, and I wanted Man United to win the FA Cup. But, we did still progress to the semi-final, so that is the positive you can take. But Solskjaer, got his team selection wrong in the 3-1 defeat to Chelsea. Probably got a few things wrong in the 1-1 draw with West Ham. But earlier on in the season, we'd enjoyed our worst start ever to a Premier League season. And at that point, Solskjaer was under serious pressure at the football club. There was talks about Pochettino coming in. There was also talks about Massimiliano Allegri coming to the football club. But we managed to stick with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But I give you the main explanations why we stuck with him. There's main explanations why he, remained at Manchester United. And Solskjaer's now been at the football club over a year and a half. He has. And Solskjaer's also got a decision to make on, certain players. He's got definitely a decision to make on David De Gea. Because there's a lot of Man United fans that are now saying that, we should sell David De Gea in the summer transfer window. And there's a lot of United fans saying that he needs to be dropped. And some United fans would say put Sergio Romero in goal for the Leicester game tomorrow. But I don't see that happening. I think, David De Gea is going to remain in goal. Maybe Sergio Romero could start in our Europa League games. But we have been, very, very critical of David De Gea. Reflects on the calamitous mistakes he has made. The most recent mistakes he made were from Giroud and Mason Mount because he should have saved their shots. David De Gea has had 7 good years out of the 9 years he's been at Manchester United. Because Solskjaer was talking about David De Gea the other week, saying that he's been the best goalkeeper in the world for the last 9 or 10 years. And he has won everything here domestically at the football club, and he has won the club's player of the year around 4 times out of the past 6 seasons, reflects on his good run of performances. David De Gea last September signed a 4-year deal worth $375,000 a week. So David De Gea is the highest paid goalkeeper in the world, and he is the highest paid at the football club. Don't forget we paid, was it 17 or 18 million for him from Atletico Madrid in 2011, David De Gea. But if we was to sell him in the summer transfer window, if we was to sell him next year or the next couple of years, we'd still get more than the 17 or 18 million that were paid for him from Atletico Madrid. Maybe we could get around maybe 50 or 60 million for him. David De Gea has now made 403 appearances for Man United in all competitions. But yeah, do you think Dean Henderson should be our number 1 for next season? Like I said, Chelsea are looking to get Dean Henderson on the board. It did recently say that Chelsea are willing to offer more than they're willing to more than double his wages. Chelsea are willing to offer Dean Henderson £170,000 a week. His current salary at the moment, Dean Henderson's, is around £70,000 a week, but Sheffield United are paying the vast majority of that. Solskjaer was talking about Dean Henderson quite a few weeks ago. I think he was talking about him before our game against Sheffield, and he said that he expects Dean Henderson to be our number 1 and England's number 1 goalkeeper in the future. But he said, Dean Henderson's not yet ready to become Man United's number 1 keeper. I think Dean Henderson will only sign a new contract with us if he gets around £100,000 a week, and if he's assured to be our number 1. Like I updated you earlier on today, there was stories coming out saying that, was interested in Jan Black from Atletico Madrid. It also says that Chelsea are interested because Chelsea are looking for the replacement for Kepa Arrizabalaga. But he's going to cost a lot of money. So if we decided to put Dean Henson as number one next season, we'd save money because Jan Blanc's going to cost us 109 million because that's his buyout clause with Atletico Madrid because Jan Blanc signed a new contract last year. He's got a contract with Atletico Madrid until 2023 as Jan Blanc. But who should replace David De Gea if he does leave Manchester United and that? But I think he'll stick with him for the game against Leicester. Left back, it said that Solskjaer's looking to get a left back in as well, I forgot to mention earlier. And obviously the left backs we've got is Luke Shaw and Brandon Williams. I think we've got a few other players that can play at left back, but Luke Shaw's our first choice left back at the moment. He hasn't played recently because he has been out of that ankle injury. My only element of concern about Luke Shaw is that he's injury prone, but prior to that, very good left back. This has now been Luke Shaw's 6th season at Manchester United. I think we paid around £30 million for him from Southampton. I think Brandon Williams has enjoyed a very, very good season. This has been his first full season in the senior squad, Brandon Williams. But I think, maybe for next season, Luke Shaw will remain our first choice left back because we're going to wait to see if, we're going to let Brandon Williams, gain a bit more experience first. So the decisions that he's got to make, we're going to get rid of around 6 players in the summer transfer window. I think we're going to try and get rid of Jesse Lingard, obviously. I'm hopeful that we can get rid of Andres Pereira because Pereira isn't getting in the team enough now anyway. I want us to get rid of Alexis Sanchez permanently. I also want us to get rid of Smalling permanently. There were stories coming out yesterday saying that Man United won't let Roma and Inter Milan extend Sanchez's and Chris Smalling's loan. But we get rid of Sanchez, it will free up our wage bill completely. I think Smalling will probably go to Roma permanently, but he definitely won't come back to Manchester United even if Roma don't get him permanently. Hopefully we can get rid of Rojo permanently. Hopeful that we can get rid of Phil Jones, and I'm hopeful that we can get rid of Diego Dalot because Diego Dalot is not good enough to represent Manchester United. So let's just put that into the equation. But like I said regarding Solskjaer, I don't know if he is the foreseeable future for Manchester United. Time will tell. Reflecting how long Solskjaer's been at the football club, he has gained managerial experience, because Man United is the 3rd club in his managerial career. Before he was with us, he was at Molde, won a few Norwegian titles with Molde, and before he was at Molde, he was at Cardiff. Enjoyed a very, very short tenure with Cardiff. His record was disastrous at Cardiff, and that's why he got sacked by them. He only managed 29 games for Cardiff, but he actually ended up getting Cardiff relegated. I expect us to extend more players' contracts under Solskjaer, because we have got around 8 players' contracts that are due to expire next year. We have extended a lot of players' contracts since Solskjaer came into the football club. Since he came into the football club. But I have seen improvements under Solskjaer. I really, really have. But there's still things that we need to improve on. Like I've said, we need to improve our finishing. We need to keep the ball better. Our football needs to look a bit more expansive. We need to be more quicker on the. We need to be quicker on the flanks. Maybe defensively, we need to improve in that. So these still improvements needed at Manchester United. Maybe a bit of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's decision making needs to improve, because I think in a lot of games since the start of this season, Solskjaer's been very tactically inept. But on the other hand, there's some games where Solskjaer's tactically got it right. I think his approach to the big games have been very, very good. Because I said our record against the top 6 sides this season's been good because we've taken 18 points against the top 6 sides this season. Solskjaer's beaten City 3 times this season as a manager. First manager to do that in history. Beaten Leicester earlier on in the season. He's beaten Tottenham twice as a manager. Beaten Chelsea 3 times this season. Drew with Liverpool earlier on in the season. So I've also, been very, very happy with that. And like I said, I think Solskjaer's promoted the youth very, very well. It's good that, the young players have been given their chances. It really, really is. But I definitely think our recruitment's improved under Solskjaer. It really, really has. We have missed out on a few players under him, but like I said, for several years, we've been criticised, reflecting on how poor our recruitment policy's been. We've been criticised for overpaying for players, and we've just been criticised overall for the decisions, we have made. And reflect on this, it's Ed Woodward that's been criticised for years. The Glazers have been criticised for years. Woodward's been with us since 2012, and the Glazers have been with us since 2005. Being very, very critical of the club's board as well. Very, very critical of a lot of players earlier on in the season. I was very critical of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer earlier on in the season and that. But yeah. But like I said, in the last 7 years, we have been playing catch-up. We've had different managers with different philosophies. We spent £900 million on players since Ferguson left, and we've recruited over 30-odd players since the Ferguson era. We haven't only spent a lot of money, we've also got players on big contracts at the football club. And we haven't really got the structure to keep sacking managers because Man United are not really known as a sacking football club. Like I said, no one will replicate Ferguson's legacy at Man United. No one will last as long as Ferguson did. No one will do what Ferguson did. In general, no one will do what he did. But I'm hopeful that we can get back up there under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But it's going to take a long rebuilding process. I think we're going to need around 4 or 5 signings to be back where we want to be. And hopefully next season, we can be up there. Because at the end of the day, we are a massive club with a fantastic fan base, fantastic stadium, most successful team in Premier League history at the moment. Won 45 trophies in our history, 38 of them trophies coming under Alex Ferguson. That, we shall see what happens. So the players I want us to get, I want Man United to get in the summer transfer window. I want us to get Jadon Sancho. I don't know if we're going to get Jadon Sancho. I really, really don't. It's Borussia Dortmund's asking price that is the stumbling block, isn't it? Dortmund have remained ruthless over their valuation throughout the course of this saga. Dortmund have said that they want at least 100 million. At one point we said we was only willing to pay 50 million. Now it recently said that we are preparing to put a take it or leave it offering for Sancho of around £80 million. I think Sancho's already agreed personal terms with us. He's already agreed a 5-year contract worth around 140 grand a week, but no fee has yet come to an agreement. Reports from Germany did recently say that Sancho wants to leave Dortmund, and negotiations with Man United and Sancho have now been at an advanced stage. Simon Stone was recently talking about it, and he said Man United are confident they can get a deal over the line. Simon Stone's from the BBC, and you had Christian Falk that recently said Man United have not yet put a bid in for the player. We have been looking at a few alternatives to Sancho. I give you the news regarding Kingsley Coman earlier on. I actually give you the news on Kingsley Coman on my last video, didn't I? It says, I actually read it in Sky Sports, and Sky Sports is a very reliable source, and it said from The Athletic that Man United have been in talks with Bayern Munich over possibly getting Kingsley Coman. We do want to get him on loan if we do not get Jadon Sancho. Sky in Germany said that Bayern Munich are not prepared to sell Kingsley Coman. Bayern Munich, don't forget, earlier on this month signed Leroy Sané from City. Bayern Munich got him for just over 54 million, and he signed a 5-year contract with Bayern Munich. So now Leroy Sané's at Bayern Munich. Kingsley Coman's going to be surplus to requirements. Kingsley Coman's a winner. He's got a contract with Bayern Munich until 2023. I think Bayern Munich did get him permanently in 2017 because Bayern Munich did get him on a 2-year loan from Juventus. I think they paid around €7 million for this and it was in like 2 instalments. Then Bayern Munich, of course, got him permanently for around €21 million, Kingsley Coman. And he is only at the age of 24. So would you take him at the club? Other alternatives we've looked at is Ferran Torres. We've looked at Ousmane Dembele. We looked at Rabbi Matondo before from Schalke. So these cheaper solutions than Jadon Sancho. We're also looking at Jack Grealish from Aston Villa. if Villa go down, I can definitely see Grealish leaving. But if Villa stay up, on the other hand, then maybe Grealish will stay with them for another season. But Grealish has been another one of our priority targets and that. So yeah, so signings are needed at Manchester United. They really, really are. And silverware is needed at the football club because we've only won 3 trophies since Ferguson left, and that was the FA Cup under Van Gaal and the Europa League and the League Cup under Jose Mourinho and that. So silverware, very, very important. Very, very important. So anyway, guys, that's everything to update you today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.